Doctor, doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
Google the AC Doctors and get some relief today. TheACDR.com.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
If it feels like the world's gone a little crazy lately, you're not wrong. They say parents should have a voice. But what happens when no one's listening? Forget the noise, the narratives, and the nonsense. It's time to have real conversations, stand up, speak out, and shine a light on what's really happening inside our schools, our systems, and our government, and what it really means for your family. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show, where we believe in truth over talking points, facts over feelings, and the courage to say what others won't. Because when it comes to our kids, silence is not an option.
Only in America, dreaming.
Happy Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Welcome in to the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studios. I'm alive here in the WYAB studios. That's going to be my new opening, I think. Not just that we're live, I'm alive. I'm so grateful to be alive and to be here with you today. I'll tell you what, y'all know how to make a girl feel special. Y'all definitely know how to make someone feel loved. The feedback that I got yesterday after very shortly detailing my experience last week was mind-boggling. I mean, just overwhelming. I heard from listeners, I heard from my Moms for Liberty sisters, I heard from people in Florida and Alabama, in South Carolina, in North Carolina, in California, in New York, and New Jersey, in Oklahoma, in Texas, in Iowa, in Colorado. Of course, a ton of people here in Mississippi. My phone did not stop beeping yesterday or this morning, and I cannot even express how thankful I am to have a community who cares and who rallies behind their own. Again, we are live here, the Cotton Exchange Plaza here in Flora, Mississippi. The headquarters, the 50,000 watt blowtorch that is WYAB, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Also streaming on your FM radio dial, as always, 1039. And then WYAB.com, you can always pick up the audio versions of all of our shows here at WYAB. I'm incredibly grateful to have a loving family, to have children who love their mama with all they have. Our station owner, Matt, was so encouraging and uplifting through this experience. I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. I think I'm more ready to talk about this today. I had several of you reach out and ask what my symptoms were. What did I feel? What did I experience? How did I know something was wrong? If you missed the news yesterday, I did suffer, I guess, what you would call a very mild heart attack last week. I don't want to downplay it. Everything looks good. Everything is functioning properly, but to say that I was scared is a complete and total understatement. Now, I'm tough. You got to be tough to do what I do, but and I expressed this yesterday, but the thought of something taking me away from my children when I know that I'm literally all that they have, that thought is the thought that will destroy a mama. I'm not afraid to die. And I know that when it is my time to go, it's my time to go. I know where I'm going when I leave this earth. There's not a doubt in my mind. That doesn't scare me. Now, it might scare me if I didn't know where I was going. That might scare me if I didn't have a relationship with my Savior, Jesus Christ. That might scare me if I had not given my heart to God and trusted in Him fully concerning my future. And if that's you, I want you to know there are people that you can talk to, that you can express that to. There are people that would love to share the love of God with you, me being one of those. I will never be too busy or too consumed to talk with someone who is struggling when it comes to their eternal life. That's of the utmost importance. That's what we as Christians are sent to do. It's our mission, is to spread the good news. So I'm not afraid to die whatsoever, but the thought of not being here for my children, that's the scariest thought. Now, this threw me for a loop. I said this yesterday. I know you're not supposed to tell your age, but look, I'm proud of the 41 years that I've put in here on earth. I'm proud of my children. I'm proud of the life that I live. So I am 41, and I would consider myself to be fairly healthy. I don't necessarily watch what I eat, but I also don't eat terrible. I don't overeat. I'm active. I'm not in the gym every day, but I am a very active 41-year-old mother of 5 who's on the go constantly. So this was unexpected, to say the least. A wake-up call. It stopped me in my tracks. So we'll get into it, and I'll tell you what I have experienced, how this started, how this hopefully ends. Yesterday, I still didn't really have a reason why this happened. Yesterday, I wasn't sure if it would happen again. Yesterday, I didn't fully understand what was going on or actually have a diagnosis. It was kind of, we don't know. We don't know what happened. Today, I think that after the follow-up in Jackson Heart Clinic this morning, I have some answers, and I feel a lot better moving forward. But you can be healthy. You can be young. You can think this can't happen to you, but I'm living proof that it can. One thing that I talked with someone at Jackson Heart about this morning was that they are seeing younger and younger people be affected when it comes to cardiac diseases. I guess I'm proof of that as well. So about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, I started to have this feeling, and it would happen only first thing in the morning when I would first wake up. Sometimes before I would even get out of bed. Other times shortly after I would get out of bed, but of course, not wanting to believe something is wrong with my heart. I mean, my husband died of a heart attack. My child had open heart surgery at 5 months old. My dad died of a massive heart attack at 62 years old. The thought of something being wrong with my heart terrifies me. But I started to have this feeling shortly after waking up in the mornings, this heavy pressure, squeezing sort of feeling in the very center of my chest. It would last maybe 10 to 20 minutes, and then it would go away as quickly as it came, and I would feel fine. So I chalked it up to either anxiety, stress, acid reflux. I've dealt with acid reflux my entire life. I take omeprazole daily for that. I can't eat spicy, which I don't like spicy foods anyway, so that doesn't really bother me. But even very acidic foods, I can't drink margaritas. They just kill me. So I chalked it up to, okay, maybe you've just eaten too much acidic fruit. Anything I could think of in my mind to tell myself this wasn't heart related, I told myself. And then it stopped. It stopped for about 2 weeks. I didn't feel anything at all, didn't have any of those symptoms. And then the week before last, it started back. And it almost seemed as if it would come in groups. So I would wake up and I would have this pain for 10 minutes or so. It would stop, and then 10 minutes later, it would start back for another 10 or 20 minutes. But again, it would leave as quickly as it came, and I would feel fine. Last Sunday, it lasted longer than it had ever lasted. Seemed to be a bit more extreme. But it finally went away. I felt fine. And then Monday, I didn't think it was ever gonna go away. I screamed for my oldest daughter, and I told her, I said, "I think I'm having a heart attack. I don't know what this feeling is, but it was this crushing, debilitating squeezing. I felt as though someone had somehow gotten their hands inside the very center of my chest and were squeezing everything in there with all their might. And then it started to shoot down my arms, and not pain. It didn't feel like pain shooting down my arms. It felt just like an uncomfortable weakness type of feeling. And it started to shoot up into my jaw and felt as though it was shooting up into the very tip top of my head. And so I told my daughter, I said, "Get the blood pressure cuff. Let's check my blood pressure." It was obviously extremely high because I was in quite a bit of pain. And I would say I have a fairly high pain tolerance. My last child, I drove myself to the hospital when I was in labor. I was 8 centimeters dilated when I got there. They could not believe I had driven myself to the hospital in that state. I can handle pain, but I was scared. And I told her, I said, "If this hasn't let up in 5 minutes, I'm calling 911." But it let up. It let up, and I came in here and I did a show, and I was ranting and raving about Michelle Henley, who sits on the school board over in DeSoto County, And Lindsay Whiteside, this teacher who pled guilty to sexually abusing a child, who now faces federal charges. That's what I'm going to blame it all on. I'm going to blame this on the liberal. We'll take a page from Kim Wade. The Democrat heads out there, y'all have done this to me. Mississippi Department of Education, teachers unions, Southern Poverty Law Center. Look what you've done now. I'm kidding. But it didn't stop there. We got to take a break, but y'all stay with me because I think this is something you need to hear, especially if you are a young female who thinks you're healthy and you don't think that you're at risk for something like this. I didn't either. I didn't think so either. But I was wrong. And I want everyone to be aware, and I want everyone to hear what this felt like for me. I don't think this is a typical scenario for most people, but this is what happened to me. And obviously it's very real, it's very scary. And I think it needs to be talked about. So y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here on the Lindsay Beckham Show, 103.9 WYAB. Don't go anywhere. 103.9 WYAB. Don't go anywhere.
Only in America.
103.9 WYAB.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable, and he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
Delicious food and a relaxing atmosphere combine to make the best place for sports fans and foodie fans to watch the game and just hang out. Capitol Grill of Jackson. Of course they've got the games, but food, oh my goodness. Mouth-watering po' boys, fish, steaks, appetizers, and a specialty pizza menu. Kitchen opens at 5 Monday through Thursday and 11 Friday through Sunday. And happy hours are daily at Capitol Grill. Also enjoy the all-new Tuesday night and karaoke on Wednesday and Friday nights from 8 till midnight with DJ Money Mod. Capitol Grill, DeVille Plaza in Jackson.
Need equipment that works as hard as you do? Come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. Thousands of you have already made the short drive to see us at H&H for the state's best deals on CM truck beds, Big Tex trailers, Wells Fargo enclosed trailers, and even rugged Candy electric utility vehicles. At H&H, our equipment is built for the farm, job site, hunting camp, or anywhere around your property. So visit me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales on Highway 35 North in Carthage, or online anytime at hhchiefsales.com.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
1, 2, 3, Wildcat!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
The only thing hotter than Mississippi in the summer is a Mississippi summer when the power goes out. This summer, be ready. Call Cowden Electric. They can install a permanent standby generator that automatically kicks on the second the power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Cowden Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Cowden Electric today or visit CowdenElectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. CowdenElectric.com.
Radio. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show, live here in the WYAB studios. You can call in, be a part of the show today, 601-879-0002, or you can text in to the Lindsay Beckham Show text line. That number is 601-879-4648. I'm going to pull the comments up on the screen here. You can always be involved in the chat, the show chat that we are streaming live to Facebook, YouTube, and X. You can always chime in there as well. And this segment is going to be brought to you by who else? A life insurance agent, because I'm telling you, you never know. And this is of the utmost importance. So if you don't have your affairs in order, if you don't know what your family would do if something should happen to you today, then I just suggest and urge you to call Mark Dwyron. Now, he is with Allstate right here in Madison. He has been involved in this community, serving this community for over 4 decades. I had breakfast with Mark, and I'm telling you, there's not a person that walked into Beagle Bagel who did not know him by name, who he did not have some sort of relationship with. He knows what to do, how to protect all the things that matter in your world. Again, generations of people in the central Mississippi area have trusted Mark, trusted him to find the right coverage for the right price, whether that be home, auto, life. And that's the one I'm always preaching about is life insurance, because it is just so important to make sure that all of your affairs are in order. He is trusted around here. He'll protect you from the unpredictable, and there is so much that is unpredictable out there. He's always just a moment away when you need him. He answers his cell phone. You're in great hands with Mark Dwyron at Allstate. He's located right off of Highway 51, and you can reach him at 601-856-2777. 601-856-2777. Again, over 4 decades serving this community, serving Madison in the central Mississippi area. So I'm talking today about this experience that I had last week, what's going on with me, what we have figured out was happening. So last Monday, I had this prolonged episode of this squeezing, crushing, tightening chest pain right in the very center of my chest that seemed to be radiating up through my jaw, up into the top of my head, down both of my arms. A very, very scary feeling. It finally let up, but at that point, because it had lasted so long, close to an hour, I still just didn't feel quite right. I could still feel this heaviness in my chest. And I did not want to believe there was something wrong with my heart. Again, I've seen too many heart problems in too many people that I love so dearly. And I was refusing to believe that there could be something wrong with my heart. I text Morgan, y'all know Morgan Charlie, Women's Wellness, who did the show here on Tuesdays with me. I texted her and I told her what was going on, and she was out for the week on vacation. And she told me to go to the ER. But I had a show to do. I had stuff to do. I have kids to take care of. I didn't have time for that. And it had let up. I was okay. At least that's what I told myself. And I dang sure didn't want to miss Wednesday's show. I had been planning this show with my friends Cordy and Renee to talk about the fentanyl walk for life. Been promoting it for weeks. I was excited about them being able to share their stories on the show. So we did the show Wednesday. I was feeling okay. And then Wednesday night, for the first time, I started to feel a little short of breath. And that was the only thing that had really kept me from going to the hospital at that point, was I had not had any shortness of breath. And I just kept telling myself, if it's your heart, you'll feel short of breath. Obviously, that's not always the case. But the nagging feeling in the back of my head, in the back of my brain, in the pit of my stomach, it wouldn't go away. And I was having so much anxiety about even falling asleep at night. I was fighting sleep because this was only happening first thing in the morning, these attacks, these incidents. And so I was scared to go to sleep because I didn't want to wake up and feel it again. And I was afraid if I felt what I felt Monday morning again, that it might kill me. And so finally I said, well, I'm just going to go get checked out, just to be safe and just to clear my mind. So I drove myself again. I'm good at driving myself places. And y'all, I'm an open book. I don't try to make my life look perfect. I don't show you just the perfect moments of my life on my social media. I try to be as real and raw and relatable as possible. I want you to know me, who I really am, the good, the bad, the ugly. Obviously, we're all sinners. We're all imperfect. I've never had a problem sharing, probably too much, to be honest. But for some reason, I didn't talk about this to anyone, really. I didn't really tell anyone I was going to the hospital. I just did it myself. My oldest daughter knew, and that was about it. I didn't call my mom. I think she's still pretty angry with me about that. But I didn't want to worry anybody. I didn't want anyone to panic until I knew for sure what was going on. So I walked in. I told the man at the desk what was going on, and they did not even let me sit down. They took me straight back. They did an EKG, and my heart rate, I think, was through the roof. Of course, I was scared. I was nervous, terrified that they're going to tell me something is really bad wrong here. So they drew blood. They got me in a room, and I'm waiting, and the anxiety is just building. I can't remember the last time I've been in a hospital. It had to be almost 7 years ago when I gave birth to my youngest son. So I got online and I signed up for my chart. I was at St. Dominic's, and I could see the blood work had come back before that they even came back into the room to tell me. And I saw my troponin levels, and I had no doctor, but I had Googled that to see what it meant. And I knew that it meant if your levels were elevated, there was damage to your heart. And that this is the initial test, besides the EKG, that they use to determine if you've had a heart attack or not. And then my friend Jasmine, who's a nurse, I sent her a screenshot and I said, how bad is this? And she was talking me through it, and they came in and they said, well, it looks as though there's been some type of cardiac event. We're not going to say for sure that it was a heart attack quite yet, this could be myocarditis or however you say that word, pericarditis. And we're going to run some more tests. But I knew that event I experienced Monday morning had been a heart attack. So I waited. They decided to admit me. I spent the night in the ER. I guess they didn't have a room ready. And the next morning, I had another episode like I had Monday. I was in the ER at the time. In fact, they did the echocardiogram while I was in the middle of this event. They came in, they brought me a Norco, didn't touch it. They came in and gave me Dilaudid in my IV. I had 2 IVs going at this point, one with fluids and one with blood thinners. And the Dilaudid, which is an extremely strong IV pain medication, didn't touch it. And I remember thinking, I'm going to die right here in this ER. And then oddly enough, they come and tell me the echocardiogram didn't show anything. Your heart is functioning normally. There doesn't seem to be any inflammation. Now it's morning time, and because this only happens in the morning time, and the cardiologist has come around and they decide, well, we're going to take her to the cath lab. We're going to go in and look and make sure there's no blockage. We need to figure out what's going on. They knew how much pain I was in because they could see my blood pressure skyrocket on the monitors. The cath lab was an experience in and of itself. We got to take another break, but y'all stay with me because I want you to hear this. I want you to understand that everything can look as though it's functioning normally, and yet you can still be at risk, especially young women. This affects us more than anyone else, this particular issue that I was diagnosed with. So y'all stay with me. The Lindsay Beckham Show, 103.9 WIB. We will be right back. Show 103.9 WIB. We will be right back.
103.9 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable, and he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Cargo ships will not face a 20% toll by the U.S. President Trump reversing course a day after proposing the fee for safe passage. The president now says instead the U.S. will get paid through what he calls trade deals. The U.S. had previously opposed Iran charging a fee.
I don't think anybody should be really in that position, but we were doing it as a reimbursement. The Gulf states are going to invest a tremendous amount of money into the United States. And that was very satisfactory to me. I think it's actually much better.
Escalations continue, sirens sounding in Bahrain today as Iran targets U.S. sites. New York's Attorney General announced her state, along with a bipartisan coalition of 42 other attorneys general, have reached an $18 million settlement with 23andMe to protect consumers' private genetic data. That stems from the massive breach in 2023 impacting nearly 7 million consumers. The deal also secured new data protections. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed this hour.
You wake up tired. You drag through the day. The drive's gone. The focus is gone. And somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like yourself. At Live Better Men's Health and Wellness in Gluckstadt, they help men take control again with personalized testosterone therapy, wellness treatments, and real answers. Fast lab work, real medical professionals, no judgment. Stop settling for fine. Start living better. Live Better Men's Health. Online at livebettermen.com.
It's all systems go this month at Mazda of Jackson. With rates as low as 0% with approved credit, come test drive the all-new, fully redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. More room for you and your cargo makes the third-generation CX-5 the best yet. Mazda's best-selling SUV also comes with 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. And Mazda of Jackson still specializes in certified pre-owned vehicles with hassle-free trade-in options available. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Are you thinking about your next vehicle purchase? Hi, I'm Casey Ellis, owner of Ellis Autoplex in Brandon. If you've been searching for a clean diesel or half-ton truck, your search is over. At Ellis Autoplex, we specialize in the vehicles people actually want. Whether you're upgrading, buying your first truck, or looking for something the big dealerships don't have, Ellis Autoplex is worth the drive. Stop by and see why more and more people across the Southeast are choosing Little Truck City. Follow us on Facebook or shop online at ellisautoplex.com.
Managing payroll, benefits, workers' comp, and HR tasks can take valuable time away from running your business. That's where People Lease comes in. From payroll processing and tax filing to employee benefits and retirement plan administration, People Lease helps simplify your back office operations while improving employee satisfaction. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Schedule your consultation today at peoplelease.com. That's peoplelease.com.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection. I've been selling real estate now for well over 30 years, and I typically use Chadwick Home Inspectors. And Chad has done many, many home inspections for me.
They are pretty much from roof to foundation. Most people are surprised at just how thorough these home inspections can be. Been working with Rita almost a decade now. Very rarely does she let a deal fall apart. She can usually find a way to negotiate where both parties are satisfied.
RitaJensen.net.
From Mississippi, where faith, family, and freedom still matter. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the WYAB studios. We're live here, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. I am detailing the events of the past week when all of a sudden I as a 41-year-old, what I would call healthy woman, has discovered that I have heart issues. So I've been admitted to the hospital. This is last Thursday. I'm taken to the cath lab so that they can go in and check for a blockage or just see what could possibly be causing this, because other than the high heart rate, my EKG looked normal. My echocardiogram was normal, even though it was being done as I'm in the middle of one of these attacks where I'm feeling all of this pain in my chest. Obviously, the blood work has come back to show that there has been some sort of incident that has caused heart damage. The way they describe it is there's something that and I'm not a doctor, but these troponin levels check that leaks out into your blood when there's been damage to the heart. And so that's one of the first tests that they will run if you believe that you may have had a heart attack. So I get to the cath lab and they go in, been heavily sedated. But I'm laying there and I'm able to hear them talking, and I'm looking at the screen, and I see all of my heart vessels, and I'm hearing them say that they look good. Your big arteries, what flows to your heart, there's no blockage. We see a tiny amount and some very small branches, almost thread-like small. There's not blockage or plaque buildup that would cause a heart attack. They don't see that. So while that's good, and I'm glad, I'm also so confused because I don't understand what's happening. If there's no blockage, if everything is functioning properly, then what caused this? Why am I feeling this? What's happening? And I think that the thought of that, the unknown, can really do a number on you. I think that caused a lot of anxiety, and of course, I don't need anxiety right now. They're telling me to not get yourself worked up, but when something like this happens and you don't know why and you don't know when or if it's going to happen again, it's hard not to be worked up. So they monitor me. They start me on 4 different medicines, 2 blood thinners, a statin, and a beta blocker. I slept a lot after that. I guess sleeping all the medications off that they had given me. They were monitoring my heart rate and blood pressure. This was Thursday around lunchtime. I didn't leave until Friday around lunchtime, and at that point, I had not had any more chest pain. My blood pressure had been perfect. My heart rate had been perfect. And so as they're discharging me and talking about heart rehab and how to build my heart muscle back up, I'm asking, what caused this? What's going on? Is this going to happen again? And nobody really has an answer. If they tell me I can go back to my normal activity and my normal diet, and your heart's functioning and there's minor damage. And while all that's great to hear, my head was spinning because the anxiety is building up that when I go home, this is going to happen again. And I think when I first got home, I was still sleeping off all this medication that I was given while I was there. But then Sunday night and last night were really hard for me. The enemy has a way of getting in your ear when you're at your most vulnerable, and when the anxiety is starting to build and you can't sleep. And I'm not fighting sleep. I'm not afraid that I'm going to die if I go to sleep. I'm afraid of the pain coming back when I wake up, because that's when it has happened. And I'm Googling and I'm reading and trying to understand what has happened to my body, what's going on with my heart. So I had a follow-up appointment this morning. And again, they did an EKG. Everything looks great. The doctor comes in and we're talking, and I think we were able to answer some questions and get a reason, a cause for this. Vasospastic angina. It's not extremely common. It affects mostly women who are younger, it happens when you're at rest, not when you're exerting yourself. Causes spasms in your heart muscle that will constrict blood flow when these spasms happen. And if they last long enough, cause a heart attack, which is what happened last Monday morning. So there's no blockage, there's no buildup, but for some reason, whether that be being too emotional, stress, anxiety, foods that I've been eating, alcohol can trigger it. Gonna have to cut back on the cocktails. But we have an answer. We have a cause. We know what's going on. And we know that we're on the right medications to hopefully stop it from happening again in the future. Today, they also prescribed nitroglycerin, and I think that's really going to help with the anxiety that I'm feeling at nighttime, because now that I know if I do wake up and this starts, I have something right there that should stop it within 1 to 3 minutes. But all of that to say, I know this was a very long story here, but I think it's important that we listen to our gut. I think it's important that we listen to our bodies and don't do what I did and wait. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have waited. I should have gone immediately when I knew that this was something more than acid reflux. This was something more than just anxiety. This was something more than just stress. This was definitely heart related. I feel a lot better after my follow-up in the clinic this morning, and understanding now the cause. There is a root here to this problem, and there is a solution. He told me this may never happen again. I may not have to be on medicine forever. This may just be a short-term solution. Caller, you're on the air. We got about 1 minute.
Lindsay, you take care of yourself. I don't want to see something happen to you because I'm one of your listeners. I like listening to you.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself.
I'm trying. I am trying. I appreciate that so much. But yeah, this was a wake-up call.
Yeah. Well, I just came from the MEA down in Richmond to get my DOT physical, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, but just take care of yourself. If you want to know, this is Flynn. I'm the one that gave you the flag.
Yes, I love the flag. I have it hanging.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. But like I say, you take care of yourself because I like hearing you on the radio.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You have a great day.
Well, you have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. And comments and messages and calls like that, you guys are incredible. Incredible. I'm a lucky, blessed lady, that's for sure. I feel very loved today and so thankful to be alive. We got to take our last break. Y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here on the Lindsay Beckham Show to wrap things up on this Tuesday afternoon. 103.9 WYAB. This Tuesday afternoon, 103.9 WYAB.
103.9 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Here's what they're saying about Corcoran Door Company.
I'm going to yell out to one of your sponsors here, Corcoran Door. When the guy came out here, instead of just trying to throw a door up, he was looking at the way the house was facing. Man, with this double garage here on the south side, you might want to consider a insulated door. I came in earlier today about 2:30. The car thermometer said 99 degrees. The thermometer inside the garage was 82.
That's why they've been around 50 years.
Yeah.
Corkanddoor.com. CORKERN door.com.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Hot temps and bright sunshine means it's the perfect time to take a closer look at Pops Auto Sales in Florence. Pops Auto is loaded with Broncos, Jeeps, Yukons, Tahoes, Expeditions, F-250s, Dualies, 2500s, even a Toyota Sequoia Hybrid. Pop's buying experience will blow the top right off your next ride, which is the perfect time to let your hair blow in the wind. Get zero down with approved credit and a 3-month, 3,000-mile limited powertrain warranty available on all eligible vehicles. Pops Auto Sales, Highway 49 in Florence, and at popsautosalesllc.com.
From Mississippi, where faith, family, and freedom still matter. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the last minute or so of the Lindsay Beckham Show. If you have held on this long, thank you so much for listening. I think it's worth talking about. We are going to have Dr. Stokes from Jackson Heart, I believe, come on the show and talk about how this can happen, how he's seeing heart problems in younger and younger people as time goes on. Someone asked what the blood test was. It was the troponin levels, something that leaks into your blood after there has been damage to your heart. And when those are elevated, it can definitely signal some sort of damage or heart attack that's happened recently. So y'all listen to your bodies. Again, we just are not promised our next breath. We're not promised tomorrow. Get right with God, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.